I gotta play the music. I don't know. I need Frankie to make music for us so I can play that because this is gonna get old soon. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fat Presents the Play Call. I'm joined by Nikki and June. How you guys doing today?
Hello, America.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
all.
what we got. What about you, June?
That's all I got.
Man, I'm doing great. Nikki, I wish you sound like the Jaguars one or something like that. Give me that type of energy.
I'm not 100%. Hey, America.
Hey.
Well, week 3 is in the books. In the books, and a lot of talking points. So much that we had to put a pin on it in our chat so we can bring it to this episode because we do a lot of talking when we're not on air. And, you know, sometimes we talk about our talking points before we even have a chance to talk about them. And then we get on here, it's like, well, we already beat the dead horse, so we don't really go into it. So I had to tell June, put a muzzle on it because he was ready to go in. His Twitter fingers was going, you know. June don't even send voice messages, but he was sending them. He was sending them.
Right.
He was coming, bow, 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 bow. I'm like, wait a minute, relax.
But he was talking nonsense.
Yeah,
But yes,
but
he was
What
talking.
y'all think? America.
I'm gonna go into the recaps of the scores and the games. Nikki's gonna give us who won the prediction. She doesn't have the numbers in front of her, but she knows who won. And then we're gonna talk about some talking points, the games and stuff like that. So let's get to it. On Thursday, we had the Steelers at the Browns. Browns won 29-17. Gave the Steelers a run for their money. Ravens at Patriots. Ravens over the Patriots 37-26. Packers over Bucks 14-12. Texans at Chicago. Chicago won 23-20. Raiders at Tennessee with the Titans. Titans pulled out the win 24-22. Chiefs at Colts. The Colts with the upset 20-17. Bills at Dolphins 21-19. Lions at Vikings. Vikings won 28-24. Bengals at Jets. Bengals found a rhythm. Everybody needs that sucker team to beat up on. Bengals got it 27-12. Eagles at Commanders 24-8. Saints at Panthers. Panthers had 22. Saints had 14. Jags at Chargers with probably one of the biggest, I would say, surprise games of the weekend.
It wasn't a surprise, but okay.
But we'll talk about that. The Jags beat the Chargers 38-10. Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals pull out the win 20-12. Falcons at Seahawks 27-23. 49ers at Broncos. This was a combined score of 21 points.
11-10.
Yeah, 10 by the 49ers, 11 by the Broncos. And then we had the dumb boys, the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium taking the Giants on Monday Night Football with a 23-16 win over the Giants. Cowboys pulled it off. Cooper Rush now is 3-0 in his starting as a starter for the Cowboys. Brought up a lot of good, interesting opinions about that. So, Nikki, you said June won the pick'em, right? This weekly pick'em.
Yeah, I think June got 12 correct games. 12 correct games. And then followed by you, Frank. I think you had 10. And then I had 9. And then Bree brought it in with like 5 or 6. But June he's holding on strong.
He said when he retired, he gonna win. I don't know.
he said he wasn't gonna BS like he did last year.
I'm gonna play for real now because I don't have a job, so I'm just doing coins and you know Taino Creations, and this is what I'm doing. And then I'm doing watching a lot of ESPN and Fox Sports 1 NFL Network.
Currently, he's holding it down. He's holding it down.
America, June put up 2 more TVs, so he could watch ESPN on one, Fox Sports on the other, and NFL Network while he does his coins.
Most definitely, because he was crying on Sunday, but you know, we're gonna keep that to ourselves.
All right.
I put a third TV just to text message you guys and
such a
Bluetooth thing to the wall.
Hey, you do what you got to do. I had 3 TVs going on Sunday, so let's get to it, man. Dolphins beat the Bills, right? 19-21. Bills went down. I had the Bills pick. You know, they're still my pick for the NFC, AFC, coming out of AFC anyways. I don't know. Bills outplayed them. They outplayed them. Allen had 400 something yards. Tua didn't even break 200 yards. I want to say Tua had one touchdown the whole game, and Allen had about 1,000, and they still lost. But the difference was in the red zone, the Dolphins went 3 for 3. Bills didn't. Missed
Yeah, the
opportunity.
Bills.
Yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
I'm sorry. The Bills beat themselves. You know, missed field goals. They beat themselves. Down to the last play, not managing the time. You know, they beat themselves. But you know, I still have them as my number one. That's not gonna change. It's okay. Good teams. I mean, in all honesty, good teams lose, you know, at times. It's just frustrating because I this is my opinion. I don't believe they lost because the Dolphins outplayed them. I think they lost because I don't know, they just got in their own way.
So I got some points for that. I'm gonna bring it up after June goes. June, go ahead. What's your take at Bills versus Dolphins in Miami?
What's the foolishness you want to say, June? Go ahead.
All right. So first and foremost, the Bills are starting to play in this last game how they played last year. Last year, they were supposed to be this dominant team, Super Bowl ready, in their Super Bowl prime. But guess what? Like I said it in the chat, that W against the Rams, to me, the credibility isn't as much as people are giving it. The Rams barely look good so far this year. So that credibility against the Rams, it just is what it is. They went in there in the first half. The Rams came in there. Oh, this damn dog. Hey, Anaya, can you shut that dog up?
He said you talking crazy. That's why. Because he was fine until you started talking.
He's rooting. He is like, get him. But hey, but the Rams, in my opinion, they didn't look great last year. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl. I give them that credit. I'm not gonna take that from them. You guys already know they struggled against a team that had no O-line, and now that team's actually adjusted to the Bengals not O-line having ass. You see what they're doing to them, to the Bengals. So it is what it is. Different story. But to me, the credibility of that W of the Rams, to me, they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. Now they beat the Titans. And like I said, they beat the Titans with a Tannehill, no AJ Brown, with a Henry. You take Henry away, what do you have in Tennessee? What a Tannehill. That's all you have.
I agree with you.
So
come on.
So now you put them a team that's destined to possibly go to the Super Bowl, and they couldn't get in the red zone. They couldn't beat that team. They could have had 1,000,000 yards, and Tua could have had 100, and they would have still dominated when it counted. And Frank said it, which was the red zone. Tua got hurt. We know he got hurt. We're not going to talk about his back because we all know damn well this is a damn concussion in his damn head. He got a haymaker. He stumbled or whatever. You know he wasn't there, but they couldn't capitalize on that. The Bills couldn't capitalize on that. The Bills with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen couldn't capitalize on that. The Super Bowl defeating, winning Bills couldn't capitalize on the Dolphins that just had a little over 200 yards. The Bills are starting to show that they're picking up right where they left off last year.
Not true.
What they do in the next, what they're going to do in the next few weeks is going to either make my opinion a little bit more credible, or I'm gonna come back and say, hey, you guys are right. They're all right. But right now, the Bills are not, one, They're not 2, and they're probably 3 or 4
Oh
when it
my
comes to the
God.
top 5 NFL teams in the league.
So,
We'll see what happens. We'll see
so
what happens.
you
So
you
who's
said,
number 2 then?
wait. He said his point, right?
We're gonna
So
talk about that.
let's look at the. So they play twice a year. They play twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Once in Florida and once up in Buffalo, right? Now, we know teams that are not from southern states, are not from Florida, struggle in Florida. Right or wrong? Patriots are victims of it. Every team that goes down in the hot days, they don't want to play down there because it's too hot. You live in Florida, you know it. So I'm not gonna make excuses because it's still a team. And I like what you said. Buffalo didn't take advantage of the red zone trips. Buffalo didn't do stuff because a team is 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So I like what you did there. You didn't say Josh Allen, you said Buffalo. But let's just be real. The defense is taking a hit. They lost one of their main guys in the secondary. That defense is built kind of like the Legion of Boom did in Seattle. The secondary was great, which allowed to protect the backfield while the front 7 or front whatever gets at the quarterback. It's only a 2-point loss. I'm not worried about it. It wasn't like Miami went out there and blew them out. They had people going out the game with tightness, having IVs put in. So are they a great team, or were they victors of circumstance? Meaning everything went their way and they just capitalized on it. Every time you win, you need a little bit of luck on your side when it comes down to it. Something got to go your way. 28-3 comeback doesn't happen without the strip sack fumble. Your Eagles don't win a Super Bowl against the Patriots without that strip sack fumble from Fletcher Cox. Great.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying? So everybody needs that one play. It needs a little bit of luck. I don't agree with you when it comes down. I think the Bills are who we think they are. They're great. They're a good team. They're well coached. I think they try to do too much. Obviously, with 404 yards passing in a game, he had 400 yards. Look at his stats: 42 completions out of 63 attempts. He's 55% there. No, 66%. Then 400 yards with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. No interceptions. And he had 1 fumble loss, or 3 fumbles, 1 for a loss by strip sacks or whatever it was. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think Miami, because who have they played? They beat the Patriots, who it ain't like you have Brady on the center, or it was great. You know what I'm saying? But they beat the Patriots. Then they went and beat the Ravens, which they had to come back. Now that was a good win. And he threw, and look what it took for him to do that. 6 touchdowns in one game. 6. And then they played the Bills, which with a depleted, defense. So I'm not gonna, that's why I don't put them up there. That's what now. Who they play this weekend? They play the Bengals.
Play Thursday.
Yeah, they play Bengals. They play the Bengals with no offensive line, who's been struggling. The 1 and
What
2.
you mean? They play the Super Bowl AFC. You talking about the AFC champions Bengals? Because that's who the Bills played. The previous AFC dominating Titans.
Listen.
I mean, what are we talking about, bro? You said it yourself.
You're right, and I can't argue that. But I'm gonna tell you this: you've been watching the games like I've been watching the games. This ain't the same Bengals team that was doing it up. That was down 21 to the Chiefs and came back and beat them 2 times, being down 21. This ain't that right now, bro. You know they should have beat the Steelers. They didn't. They should have beat the second team they played. I don't think they did. They finally got their first win against the Jets, which, we all need it. Every boxer needs that right matchup before the big fight to get the kinks out, try the new strategies out, that warm-up fight. And that's what they got. Hopefully they come back. But, it was a good game. Good game overall is what I expected to see, because they had a lot of hype coming in the game. A lot of hype coming in. You had the Dolphins right now. They're people saying they're the team to go. They're the team. They're saying the Dolphins and your team are the top 2 teams in the NFL right now. So we'll see.
If the Bills play the Ravens today, how do you think that will fall out?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Go ahead and say it, bro.
Here's why I say I don't know. I don't think it's over for the Bills. I think the Bills got to get control. They got to get control of what they got going on. And I say that because you had a defense. You got a defense. Now your defense took a hit. What's happening to the Bills, what happens to a lot of the teams. They come into the season on paper heavy. They have one good game, take some hits here and there, lose some players, and now they got to regroup. And you had a strong, heavy game against Miami, and now you're going to, I want to say they're going to Baltimore to play, right?
I'll tell you right now.
I got it right here. Hold on, because I was looking at it earlier. Yeah, they're going into Baltimore to play the Ravens. That's a tall order, man. If that defense can't hold up, it's going to be a rough game. I don't sleep on the offense. I think the offense is what it is. The Ravens, they manhandle the Patriots. Okay, good job. I mean, again, it's not the Patriots of old, so you're going to get what you're going to get. But now you're going to – the Dolphins took them – they let the Dolphins come back on them. They had them down. Can you do that again if the Bills go up? Because the Bills know they got to beat the Ravens. They know they have to. Let's just be honest. You got to beat the Ravens. Because if you don't beat the Ravens, then we'll be back here next week talking about how they can't beat winning teams. They can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to feed your narrative more than anything, right? So they have to beat the Ravens. But the Ravens also have to beat the Bills. Because they have to solidify themselves as a powerhouse in the AFC. So to me, it's going to come down to I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna probably go Bills just because they have to make a statement. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens come in there and give them a run for their money, especially with the secondary beat up like it is.
I think it's gonna be a tall order for the Bills, bro. They're going against in my opinion, the best player in the NFL today. They're going against Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
A incredible dual threat quarterback, bro. Probably the best one today. He has a healthy line. He has decent receivers, an incredible, if not the best tight end in NFL right now, arguably. His running backs are healthy, and his legs are great. So I think the Bills have a tall order in front of them, and let's not forget the Ravens would have been the only team in the AFC at 3-0 if they didn't lose to Miami, which just beat Buffalo. So I think it will definitely make a statement on both ends. It could make a statement on the bad end for Buffalo, and it can make a statement on a great end for Baltimore. So, but we'll talk about the picks later. But I think the Ravens will pull through. I think it's going to be crazy, but they will pull through.
I think look. Speaking of Lamar, let's keep it on that. Talk about the Ravens at Patriots. He balled out, man. I mean, he balled out. He had 4 touchdowns and 1 pick only. His passer rating was 110. And over the last 3 games, he's averaging a 63% completion rate. He has 10 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Passing touchdowns. Rushing, he's two touchdowns. So right now he's at 12 touchdowns total on the season. And he only has 1 interception on the season. So, I mean, they came in. So yeah, they came into Foxborough. Look, at first the defense, Patriots defense did a good job of containing and doing, but then when Mac Jones started throwing balls, throwing interceptions and making bad decisions and plays, you can't give a team like the Ravens too many times to get a chance to the ball. You know what I'm saying? The way to beat teams like that is you stay on the field longer and you don't turn the ball over. That way, you don't prevent them to get extra drives and you capitalize on the drives you do have. And the Patriots, played undisciplined football with the interceptions. They could have probably won, and they didn't, because when you're giving up 4 touchdowns in a game and you're giving up, I don't even know how many interceptions he threw that game. I want to say it was like 3, but you can't do that to a team like the Ravens and give them that much opportunity. They Yeah, he threw 3 interceptions and no touchdowns. He ran for.
Right.
So you gave him so many opportunities, and they only lost by 11, but still, that 11, one of them turnovers could have been, because you got to think, Lamar had 4 touchdowns, right? Now I said he threw for 4. So at 4 touchdowns, out of them 4 touchdowns, how many of them came from them turnovers that he had? 3 turnovers. And if they scored on those 3 turnovers, you just gave them 21 points off turnovers. So if you minimize that, let's say you throw 1 pick, but you save 2, you only gave them 7. That's 14 points that you don't have on the board. Makes a hell of a difference in the game. Your Eagles at Commanders, what's your take on that? I mean, it really much not to talk about. They ran through them boys, but what did you see that you liked mostly about your team out there that you've seen an improvement from the week before, I should say?
Shoot, man. Normally they usually start hot, like the first drive. They score and then they then they kind of just stay stagnant until the second half, and they do their thing, and they find themselves either coming back or keeping the game close, which was a lot of the things that were going on last year. This year so far, again, it's only been 3 games, but they definitely surprised me. When I say they, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. He's definitely surprised me on what he's able to do to capitalize with the weapons that they put on his lap. And because of that right there, the decision making has been great. The way the position of the ball where he places it for these receivers that they could only get utilizing their their height, their speed, and their route running. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. The only take back that I see was something that they started off last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they started that run game late in the year, which was what got them to the wild card game. This year it hasn't been too much of that run game. It's been utilizing what they got, and I get it. But don't forget, you got Miles Sanders down there. You got Scott down there. But but one of my biggest things and my biggest concerns are what happened in the last 2 games. The second half scoring shut down, bro. And that's a concern to me. You can't go high and mighty and score and then get shut down in the second half, back-to-back games, because to me, I think that's just showing some type of weakness on either the play calling or the game strategy for that game moving forward. So, but hey, I'm happy. They're leading there's 2 teams that are 3-0. That's one of them, the Dolphins and the Eagles. And I'm happy where they are right now, man. I really am super ecstatic, man.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about Eagles and Commanders. The question was what things he wants to improve that he didn't see this game. And I'm looking at the stats right now. You guys scored 24 points in 1 quarter. Actually, you only worked 15 minutes out of 60 and won the game, to be honest. If you look at it that way. First downs, you only had 1 more than Washington. There was 5 for 15 on third down conversions for you guys, 6 to 17 of theirs. Fourth down efficiency, y'all were 2 or 3. They were only 0 or 2, so they sucked there. Passing total plays, they had more total plays than you guys, but you guys had 160 more total yards than they did. And I think that's in the passing game. You were averaging 5.9 yards per play. They were only averaging 3.2. Rushing yards, you had 72, they had 87. So it wasn't much there. They had better yards running because they had 22 attempts and they averaged 4.4 yards per rush. So that's not bad. Now, this is what killed them. You guys went 50% on the red zone. They only went 1 of 3. So they wasn't even hitting, and they had the ball 5 minutes longer than you guys did. I don't know. I think that you hit it on the head. For me, looking at this, my concern would be if you only put up 24 points in 1 quarter, which is dope. Let's not discredit that. But if you get a team like the Chiefs, you get a team like the Ravens, Dolphins, who else? Man, you get the Bills, but I'm talking about even NFC because that's who they're going to face. And I'm trying to think who in the NFC can keep up with it. If you got a team, hell, if the Rams find their footing somewhere and they get it going, can they put up more than 24 points? The Cardinals, if you get Kyler Murray out there to be scrambling for 8,000 yards and run a 2-point conversion in from the other side of the field, y'all going to be hating life because they can put points up. So what happens when you get a team that can have consistency? To me, that's a good thing they need to improve on. But we'll see, because but y'all don't play nobody anyway, right? Who y'all playing this week?
Hey, but don't forget, we play the Jags. I think in Philly with Doug being in there. And let's not forget, man. I almost forgot to mention is our defense. Our defense. I mean, shit, man. We sacked Carson Wentz 9 times. 9. You know, and we held them up to 0 to the end of the game. No, they were the 1-1 Commanders.
Yeah, but you know, they really don't mean much, bro. How many?
So that's what irritates me about June, right?
What?
When it's against his team, then they're professionals. It's a 1-on-1. But then when it's the Bills, they played a whack team like the Rams. Like, bro, keep the same energy.
Don't forget, we beat the Commanders that beat the Jaguars, that just beat the brakes off the Chargers, that were honestly in line to were Super Bowl favorites, and don't forget about that. Y'all beat the brakes off the Chargers, but got beat by the Commanders, and you see what we did. So I'm not worrying about Kyler Murray. You put pressure on Kyler Murray, he makes bad decisions. We all know that. He's a bad decision maker. You take Hopkins away from the game, and the record that you got for the Arizona is what you're going to get.
Well, you know, your boy, as in the offense, I'm going to say this. Your team's offense doesn't have a winning record against winning quarterbacks. But that was last year. This year, you got weapons. You got A.J. Brown. You got a better defense. And he's making better decisions. But we have to see is what happens when your quarterback, when he gets into that shootout. When he gets into that, I got to make that throw. Because I watched a lot of football, man. And some of the best matchups when it was Brady and Peyton going at each other, Colts and Patriots, it came down to that one quarterback that's going to make that wrong decision. And a lot of times it was Peyton Manning trying to force a throw downfield that he knew he didn't have to make and turn the game over and turn the ball over, and the game is over from that point on. So I want to see your boy tested. The Lions gave him a run for the money, but it was the Lions. But it came down close. Y'all spanked the Vikings. Y'all whooped on this thing. Because I looked at his numbers, man. I got it here because I'm so glad that we're talking about this, right? First week, he went 56% completion, 18 of 32, 243 yards, no touchdowns, no interception, but he had a rushing touchdown. Week 2, 26 of 31, 83% completion, 333 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns, and 1 fumble. And then he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So that game, he had 3 touchdowns, but 2 of them were rushing. Then week 3, he went 22 of 35, 62% completion, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no rushing touchdowns, no fumbles. The Eagles got the number 1 offense in yards per game, number 5 offense in points per game, and number 7 offense in rushing. Your defense is 5 in yards per game, 16 in rushing yards per game, and number 7 scoring defense. Hurts is number 5 in QBR, and he's ranked number 16 quarterback in the entire league out of 32 starting quarterbacks. So he's middle of the pack. He's middle of the pack. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to take away from your win with the Commanders because you did beat the Vikings and you beat the Lions, right? So I'm not going to do you like that. But it is the Commanders, bro. And it is Carson Wentz out there. Nobody was giving him a chance. No Chase Young, no nothing, but y'all won. And a win's a win. The same way I'm not going to take the Dolphins win away from them, even though the Buffalo secondary was hurt. They had players going out. They were exhausted. They won. So we'll see what happens. Like you said yesterday, as the season progresses, because teams are going to start finding rhythm. Injuries happen. People start watching film. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nick, you want to add anything to that, or because we're about to go?
We're about to go to who?
Jags at Chargers.
Oh, hold on. Let me say something.
She's about to be like, yeah, let's go.
Let me say something to Jim, right? Because he was like, "Oh, we beat the Commanders that beat the Jags." Come on, bro. That game was too close for you to even try to throw that in there. I'll just say this, right?
It's Carson Wentz,
Frank
though.
said,
you said it yourself. It's Carson Wentz.
Yeah, oh, I agree with you there. But listen, I'm gonna say this. Take away the win, right? But you have to be realistic. Like when you it's it's a thought when you say, "Oh, yeah, we beat this team." Like you were expected to beat the team. You did exactly what we expect from you. Now, if it's a team that is about something and y'all win, then it sounds more. But it's a team that you were expected to win. Come on, so you beating the Lions. I'm not who lying. You beating the Commanders. I'm not who lying. You know what? I might be taken back with the Vikings, but I'm not who lying. Like y'all ain't. Come on now.
What?
Y'all did all right. And some of
Let
these
me tell you
teams
something.
gave you a good fight, like the Lions.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
The Lions. Hold on. Let's not forget the Lions. They beat the Commanders, right? The Lions put up 36 points against the Commanders. The Lions put up 31 points against us, right? And the Lions lost last week, right? Which, in my opinion, they should have won. But again, they beat themselves. It is what it is. The Lions ain't no punk. Because if the Lions would have been in the same situation as y'all, then what? Because the Lions are progressing just like the Jags are. The only thing is they came up short end of the stick 2 games back to back, which it could have went either way on both of their ends. The Lions are not a bad team this year. I still believe that the Lions are going to turn this shit around because they have nothing to lose. But let's not forget, y'all about to play us. Y'all were 4 points away from being 3-0 because y'all lost 28-24 against the Commanders, right? Y'all doing y'all thing. But my thing is, don't discredit these W's because y'all went in there.
I'm not.
Y'all went in there and y'all whooped the Chargers, and we went in there and we did our job. Were we expected to win? Yeah, but you know what? So is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is expected to win because he's trying to prove something. And now that he got manhandled, it is what it is.
Yeah, but he's not expected to beat the Eagles with what he got, June. You was doing good until you said that.
That's your issue,
Look,
right?
So I tell you what. Tua is expected to beat the Bills because of the team he has. Lamar Jackson is expected to beat the Patriots because of what the Ravens have. Your Eagles, Jalen Hurts is expected to beat the Commanders and the Lions because of the team they are and who he has under him. So there's a difference in levels of expectation, right? And this is a perfect segue into the next team. I went and I picked against the Jags based on 1, defense, 2, offense, and who was playing. Justin Herbert has experience on his side, maybe a year more than Trevor, I think. If not, it's about the same. But his defense is supposed to be better. The Chargers defense is supposed to be better. They have J.C. Jackson, Derwin James Jr., they have Khalil Mack, and Joey Bosa. That defense is supposed to be up there with the Bucks, Rams, and any other top 3 defense that's supposed to be out there. So I went with them thinking, hey, I slept. I'm not going to lie. I slept on the Jags because I haven't been watching them, so I haven't been able to see. I only go off what Nikki tells me. Luckily, Nikki's impartial at times, so she's fair and honest about her team. So I was like, okay, Chargers going at home, they're going to win. They didn't. See, the Jags beat a team that they weren't expected to beat. That's the difference.
But June was smart too. He picked the Jags too.
It wasn't a division game. Us division games, whether we play the Cowboys, the Giants, or the Commanders, always 50-50, right? Or like Nikki said, the Cowboys swept us last year. So, are you going to pick the Cowboys this year? But anyway, that's why I take that W
the Cowboys
a little bit. No, I take it with a little bit more credibility based on the division W aspect of things. If it would have been like the Lions, okay, yeah, you know what? I mean, it was the first game of the season, so the Lions were going to come regardless. But shoot, you know, I'm happy with it. We're going to see where the season goes. But yeah, like you said, Frank, I'm excited to talk about these Jaguars, these Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know, man. So Jacksonville.
The Chargers they're not in my division.
What? So you guys did great.
I think what
No,
June
'cause you
trying to
said
say that the divisional games are more challenging than the ones you play outside because you see the team twice a year. You play them more than you do somebody else.
We beat the Colts. They're in our division, but we always beat them at home. Seem like so. I guess.
So, with that being said, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a winning record for the first time since 2017.
Come on, do the little clap thing.
Yeah. They are 2-1. And those No. I'm giving you your props. I'm giving you flowers right now. Your boy Trevor Lawrence on Sunday against the Chargers defense went 28 of 39, a 71% completion, 262 yards through the air with 3 touchdowns, with a quarterback rating of a passer rating of 115, and he had 3 rushes for 7 yards. He didn't lose the ball. Y'all won. So talk about it, Nick. What's up?
So, regardless, I ride for my boys, right? I always stand by them. We did well. Our defense, all 60 minutes were lights out, right? It took our offense just a little bit of time, but we eventually got there. Yeah, I mean, we look great. Shit. There's really nothing else to say. We look great. I'm excited for this week's game to see what the outcome would be. But I think we look great. Honestly, I think we can win our division. To be honest, the Titans don't look remotely good. The Colts, they try, and the Texans is never, whatever with the Texans. I just want Trevor to gel with his receivers. Sometimes he overthrows. This last week he did much better than before. But I think if we keep it up with our receivers and defense keep doing what defense does, everybody gonna have to come see us. Period.
No, I agree. And we spoke about this earlier, and I said the same thing. When you're deep, see, again, we keep saying a team aspect. They're playing good team football. The defense is doing their part. The offense isn't putting them back on the field too fast. They're sustaining drives. They're doing what they have to do, and special team is doing what they have to do. When you're doing that, and you can keep a game close, all you got to do is hope that the other person messes up. It's chess, not checkers. So I think it's a good turnover. I think it's a good turnaround from last year. I think, and my question is, to June and you, Nick, is this the Doug Peterson effect?
You want me to answer that first, Nikki?
Well, I don't know. I like this. The consensus in the locker room is he's very level-headed, right? Not too much gets to him. Who else plays like that? Like, what's his name? Joe Burrows. You know how it doesn't look like Joe Burrows? You can take him off his square. They say the same thing about Doug Peterson, right? He's very level-headed. And I think for our team, we needed that, What we had last year, we didn't have that. We were always on the hot seat in the locker room. So I think that's the turnaround that we needed. We're still a very young team with players. But look, the sky's the limit. My only goal for this season for us was for us to at least break 500, and now we're gonna surpass that. I truly believe that. I think we're gonna surpass that. So I mean, I guess he's what we needed, and we got him. So we'll see.
I frankly believe
He won't be in the
that.
media because of foolishness.
Go ahead,
You
June.
good, nigga? You know, I frankly believe that yes, it is. It is. I'm not gonna say the entire thing. It's a Doug Peterson thing because it's a coaching and team effort. However, I do believe he has a large imprint in what's been going on. And the only reason I say that is because he's utilizing Trevor Lawrence like Trevor Lawrence should be utilized. What do I mean by that? If you look at Trevor Lawrence's um, movement, the way he controls that line, the mobility, them throwing while he's in the move, like I mean, all those passing and stuff like that, compared to what they were doing last year under Urban Meyer or whatever the case is, it's night and day. So if you utilize your players to their talent instead of just like, yeah, he's quick, so let's play. Now you're utilizing Trevor Lawrence like he's supposed to be, which is that number one draft pick, and it shows in the last two games, back-to-back games with 3 touchdowns and all them yards. The completions are high, and then not to mention you got 2 healthy running backs back there. You got Marvin Jones in the corner. I'm excited for the Jaguars. Matter of fact, I'm excited to play the Jaguars because I know it's going to be a challenge because they're coming with it. They got a lot to prove, and it shows. Again, they should have been 3-0 in my opinion. We all know that. So it would have been a 3-0 team versus a 3-0 team this Sunday, if it wasn't for that.
So
look, I'm sorry. There's another thing I want y'all to realize, right? I think last year it was just so much pressure on Trevor as well. You know, the number one pick on a team that was struggling. Then we got a well-known college coach. I think this year that pressure isn't on him as much, so it allows him to try to just find his rhythm. I think it just happened to be that we also got a new coach. You get what I'm saying? That pressure that was on him last year, I'm not saying it's completely off. It's just not as heavy on Trevor. So I think he too is finding his rhythm, and that them put that two together, we're becoming a little bit more successful. We also added some players to the team, right? It's so funny because everybody has something to think, including me, about how much we paid Christian Kirk, right? But look what he's done with the team, right? He's had some phenomenal plays. So I just think that everything just happened at the right time for us to flourish the way we're flourishing now, if that makes sense.
no, it makes a lot of sense, and that's why I think the coaching comes in as well. I think you guys had a lot of drama last year, a lot of turmoil, so much nonsense going on, and a young quarterback like Trevor, he needs guidance. He needs a older person there to keep him and talk to him and pep him up and give him that training, that mentorship, that coaching that's needed for the development part of it. And I think you guys are getting that, plus it's the second year in the system. I mean, in the team, new system, but second year in the team. And I think you said earlier you want to see him gel better with the receivers. That's what you said. I think it'll come. It'll come. I think that as it depends what they're doing to build that, right? You see a lot of veteran quarterbacks, Russell, Brady, Watson try to do it. They take the players and they go somewhere, they practice. I know Brady used to practice with Amendola, Edelman, and other receivers somewhere away from the facility on the offseason to practice. He needs to find that balance to create that trust in between each other. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I think is good is if he's passing the ball around to different receivers, he's not getting hung up on one. Like Mac Jones has a favorite, that's Jacoby Myers. This last weekend, Jacoby Myers wasn't there, and Parker became his number one receiver and put up mad yards. So the more he does that, he'll be comfortable, and that's going to help him spread the ball around, and it'll make it harder for defenses to, kind of hone in on one receiver when they don't know who he's going to go to. So
right.
I'm looking forward to this weekend's game. Well, I might not watch any games because it's my anniversary, so I'll probably be looking at the text group like crying emoji. I mean, my team's gonna be losing anyway, so it doesn't matter. Moving on. So some of the teams I'm not worried about that took losses this weekend. The Bucks, I'm not worried about them. Bills, not worried about them. Chiefs, not worried about them. I think they'll be fine. And let me see. No Steelers. They need to be worried. Yeah, Bucks. Who I said? Bucks, Chiefs, and who else? Who's the other person I said that took losses? I'm not. Yeah, the Bills. I'm not worried about them. They'll be fine. They'll find it. They'll get it going. Good teams find ways to bounce back and win. Like Nikki said, every good team loses, so it is what it is. Any teams you think are to be worried about going into the next week?
But really quick, if the Jags beat the Eagles, now what? Because I mean, ESPN again, we'll talk about it, but ESPN had the Eagles top 5, number 2 top 5 in the NFL. So let's just say the Jags do beat the Eagles. What type of statement is that putting in that category?
The Jags are making a statement regardless if they win or not. And the only reason why I say that is because it lost with the Commanders. It's not like they're getting blown out. You get what I'm saying? Like last year, like to even see double digits on our scoreboard was hard. You get what I'm saying? So I think we're making a statement regardless. I think it would just be all eyes on the Eagles, especially on your aspect, because you don't see that. And I'll say this: I don't think the Eagles are bad or whatever. I think you just hype them up too much. But I mean, I think again, I'm fair. A good team is entitled to lose games, right? And I think the Eagles are a decent team. So if they lose, they just lose. And then the Jags wins. I don't know. I think the Jags already been making this statement. So to me, it's just another game.
No, it's important though. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very important. If y'all win, where did they put you guys? I think that'll be crazy.
I think the question, if the Jaguars win, the question is not whether Jaguars are real or not. The question would be, are the Eagles real or not?
Yeah, that's what I say. It's more on the Eagles. It's not for the Jags.
And I think
because I think we've already made statements.
I think when you look at it, that's when these games against the Eagles and stuff, not the Eagles, against the Lions come up and stuff like that. They're gonna point out certain things. See, nobody calls out the negativity when you're winning. When you're winning, it cures everything. You know what I'm saying? But when you're not winning, that's when everybody wants to point out fingers, right? It's like when everything's good in a relationship, nobody calls out what's wrong. But let one thing go wrong in that marriage or relationship, now you call out everything. Or you don't fold the clothes up, or you be farting.
Right.
Nobody cares until you start losing. So to me, if the Jags win, will it make a statement? Yes, it would be like America, we're here. We knocked down the number 1 team. Are you guys even the number 1 team in the NFC East? You got to be, right? Yeah, you have to be. So, so we knocked off the number 1 team in the NFC East. But if they don't, then it's like, okay, we were good, went up against the number 1 team in the NFC East, and we struggled. I don't think it's gonna take away from them at all, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And that was the point I'm making. Like, I don't think if we lose, again, we got to stay competitive, right? If we get smacked, then it'd be like, oh, shit, the other games that were just, a coincidence we won, right? But if we keep it close, it'll be like, okay, whatever. But if we win, it's more eyes on the East.
Yeah, I think if now
we
don't win,
lose anything. If anything,
if the Eagles struggle to beat them, they're gonna talk about it. You guys have to win that convincingly. You can't win that by a field goal. That shit has to be won by 10 points for somebody not to talk trash. Because if you allow the Jacksonville Jaguars to come into Lincoln Stadium, and in Philly, and give Philly a run for their money at home on a close game, I think that speaks more volumes on the lack of dominance on Philly side than it does the Jags have nothing to lose.
Yeah, can
And
you not hear me?
to gain. Everything to gain, nothing to lose.
Can y'all hear me or no?
Yeah, we could now.
Yeah.
You were saying something?
Yeah, exactly. I said that. We have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing.
So
Yeah, but I don't. Damn it! Hold on. Let me get this door. Hold on.
that's why I mute my stuff when they start barking. Because
That's why I said that. Like, if it's close, it's just like another game for us. It's just another game.
No. What I'm saying is, let's not forget the Jaguars just trampled all over these Chargers and the Chargers defense. Come here, damn dog. Let's not forget that. And two, I'm gonna choke this damn dog out. And two,
no, you're not. We do not do that. He's gonna put the dog in timeout. June.
I'm kidding. That's his name. Choke the dog out. That's his nickname. And number two, we're talking about the Jaguars coming into Philadelphia with the Doug Peterson as the head coach. And if the Jaguars beat Philly, yes, the conversation will be about the Eagles. However, they're going to flip script and they're going to talk about how dominant these Jaguars really are now. And just like that, you guys take the spotlight, in my opinion. And I don't think this L will hurt us. I mean, I don't think we're gonna lose. You know, I got faith in my squad, just like Nikki's got faith, and she thinks Jags are gonna win. But
look,
if we lose by one, cool. Doug Peterson beat us by one.
But that's the thing. It's so really the game, the upcoming matchup is not even Trevor Lawrence and the Jags against the Eagles. It's Doug Peterson returning home to the stadium where he won to the team he brought their only Super Bowl win to. That's really what it is. It's more, if anything, is more pressure on the head coach to coach a good game than it is on the players. You know what I'm saying? However, I see your point. Yes, if they win, of course, Monday morning, it's going to be the Jaguars are for real. They knocked off the first team in the NFC East. They knocked off one of the top teams in the NFL. That, you know, yes, the Ravens going to be there, and now they have a spotlight on them, and now everybody's going to pay attention, and now defenses are going to prepare for the teams. Yes, you're right. It's going to put a spotlight. However, I think the people counted the Jags out already. Now they're surprising them. But there's so much stock in your team doing great. They got your team. Some people are even saying Eagles and Dolphins in the Super Bowl or Eagles and Bills in the Super Bowl. They already got the Eagles winning the NFC conference. And we only week 3. There's 17 games, people. 17 weeks. And your quarterback likes to run. He likes to scramble. And he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not big like that. He gets hit one good time, he'd be like wins out for the season. He might want to relax. So there's so much that goes into it. I don't know. Moving along, right? So now we covered the Eagles ad nauseum with the Dolphins. I don't want to ask the question because it's going to take us down a rabbit hole, but I'll ask it because it was discussed. So the 2-part question: most impressive start, Eagles or Dolphins, and who's a real contender, Miami or Philadelphia? Nikki, you go first.
Oh, the Dolphins.
Okay. So most impressive and real contenders are the Dolphins?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. June?
The Eagles, hand down. Not because of my squad, but look at what hold on. No, it's definitely not. Look at what Tua has done. His most impressive win, it wasn't against the damn Bills. It was against Lamar Jackson, the best NFL player in the damn NFL. And that comeback win. You take that away from him, what do you have? Take them stats away. What has Tua done in his first and third? Hold on. What has Tua done in his first and third game? Right? Because his most credible win so far this season has been that comeback win against Lamar Jackson and those Ravens. Because in my opinion, the Ravens should have been 3-0, and they should have been leading the AFC. And we're about to see this Sunday.
Right back.
Once they play them damn overrated Bills. Who's who? So the Eagles are a lot more impressive than Tua and the Dolphins, in my opinion.
So Tua, his stats throughout this, he's what 900 and something yards passing on the season. He got 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Oh, hold on, it's my daughter, man. Give me a second. She's calling me.
And so for you guys that are listening, you guys have to understand what these Eagles are doing and what Tua has done in 1 quarter. You take that away, and that's what you're going to have, right? We have a quarterback that's been consistent for the last 3 games, and you got a quarterback that had a powerful second half in his second game. Not taking credibility away from these Dolphins, but that's just my opinion on that question.
Well, no, I think so, man. I'm on the fence because I can argue either side, right? I can argue Eagles, I can argue Dolphins. I can say Miami is impressive start, real contenders. I could say is the Eagles, and the reason is because the NFC, there's a lot of teams that's up in the air. The Packers are not the Packers of last year. The Bucs are struggling to find a rhythm. Arizona is what Arizona is. Rams can pick it up. We don't know. So there's a lot there to compress that I don't know which way to go. I would say that the Dolphins, in my opinion, because of adding Tyreek Hill and having Waddle, they were expected to do the things they're doing right now. Going into the year, we criticized Jalen and the Dolphins and Tua. We did. We didn't know what Jalen was going to do. We knew that he can be a quarterback. We didn't know he was going to be effective and efficient. And we didn't know Tua could throw the ball downfield. We would criticize him with a noodle arm. So impressive, I could say Tua. And real contenders, I can say that the Eagles. I'm not sold on Miami yet. It's a long season. I think people they getting caught off guard. And you know, it's come down to real battles, and those real battles take a toll on you over the season as the season goes along. I would have to look at the schedule and see if they're going to be real contenders or not. I think that the Eagles, have a better chance of winning the division than Miami does. And I think that in the NFC is not as much competition as it is in the AFC, where you still have the Chiefs. You have the Bengals there. You still have the Bills. I can name some other teams too. I mean, the AFC West was supposed to be the best division in all of football. So what if the Broncos turn around and now that defense is playing well and Russell? So I'll probably say real contenders, Eagles, impressive start. I'll say Dolphins. But that's my take on it. The next topic is, are the Bucs, Bills, and Chiefs in trouble? And if so, why? I don't think they're in trouble. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. They're adjusting. I think Bills are going to be fine. And I think the Bucs are what they are. They're a team that's hit by injury. And, you know, you're trying to figure it out. The defense is number 1 in scoring. This defense kept to 14 points the whole game. If that offense could have put up better points and sustained drives and there wasn't no fumbles by the wide receivers, that game could have been won by the Bucs. But, you know, like we said, things happen. So I don't know. I don't think they're in trouble. I think that the Chiefs or the Bucs are going to Super Bowl? I don't think so. Not if they don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. But I think I don't think they're in trouble. Do you think they're in trouble?
Honestly, man, it's gonna sound really crazy. I think that the Bucs are a lot more in trouble than the Chiefs. I don't think that the Bills are in trouble. Though I said what I said about them, and it is what it is. I think the Bills will make it to the playoffs. I think the Chiefs will make it to the playoffs, if not the wild card. But I say that the Bucs are in trouble a little bit, just based on what I'm seeing. Yeah, they play without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right? He ain't back yet.
No.
So I think
Evans, no, Chris Godwin or Julio Jones.
All right, so they play without their top 3 receivers, which I think when they come back, maybe it'll take me out of that mindset. But as of right now, I think they're in a little bit of trouble. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's their O line. I don't know if it's that pressure getting to Brady. Brady still looks good. Um, but looking at what I looked at without those major weapons, just made the Broncos made the Bucks look a little troublesome there for a second. And then without Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs, though I don't think they're in trouble, they look like a regular team. They don't look like they're unstoppable.
Well, yeah, and I've said that. I think that the Tyreek not being there is an effect that, Mahomes and Bieniemy got into an argument on the sideline, and it's because Mahomes wanted to keep going downfield with it, and it looked like Bieniemy was like, "Listen, bro, we can't do it. We don't have the one guy that could spread the field for us. It is what it is. So we're gonna go in and do what we got to do." I agree. The Bucks are in trouble, in my opinion, because they don't have the receivers there. It's funny how everybody says, "Oh, he needs 3 Hall of Famers." No, he doesn't need them. But look what he was doing. He got the ball to the receivers, they fumbled. It's not about it's who you trust and who's not going to cough the ball up. And you know what Evans, you know what Godwin, you know what Julio Jones, they're going to secure the ball. Perryman and Gage lost the ball twice. There was two fumbles from the wide receivers in a game that really could have been theirs for the taking. They had a fumble on the Packers at the goal line and they intercepted Rodgers. The defense did what it was supposed to do. So yeah, as long as he doesn't have the chemistry with them receivers and they don't do what he needs them to do, it's gonna be rough for them. But the defense helps. And that's the thing, that if the defense can keep people to 15, 16, 17 points and you can capitalize, then I think they'll be fine. AFC West was supposed to be the best division in the NFL. What's most shocking about the AFC West struggles?
I think it's just change, major change. I'll tell you. You said the West, AFC West,
Yeah,
or just the AFC?
no, AFC West.
Oh shoot, man. Who's in the West?
You have the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and if you give me a second, I'll tell you right now, bro. I wasn't ready. Yeah, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders.
Oh my goodness, bro. I think we're all in awe when it comes to that division. Besides the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are just doing their part without Tyreek Hill. Which by the way, Tyreek Hill, if you're listening to this, I know last year I said I don't know if you were worth that contract. Man, I take that back 100%, my dude, because you are the guy, right? You're worth it 100%. But I think the Chiefs are doing their thing. Now the other spot, bro, I think we could all agree the Broncos are on the massive struggle bus. And we could agree that the Raiders are in bigger trouble than what I ever imagined. And the Chargers, I think they're just hurt. Once Keenan Allen comes back and they start utilizing Eckler like they did last year, and I think that's a big thing. They're not utilizing Eckler like they did last year. And Herbert, he's hurt, with those rib injuries.
Yeah.
I think once they get out of that injury phase, I think they'll be right back to that dominant Chargers team that we know that they can be.
Yeah, I think. So I'm surprised. How can I put it? I'm surprised because I expected more out of the Chargers. I did. I expected more. I didn't expect more out of the Chiefs. I expected the Chiefs to be what they are. Still a good team, but not in the same, not as dominant, as powerful as they were in the past. And Raiders, Josh McDaniels, right? He struggled as the head coach of the Broncos, and now he's struggling as the head coach of the Raiders. Maybe he's not meant to be the head coach. Maybe he's meant to be an OC. So are the Raiders losing because, like, you don't believe in Carr because of Carr, or are they losing because the coaching ain't right?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna have to stick to what I said last year and the year before that. Carr's not the answer. Carr is not getting them to where they need to be. If you put Brady in that backfield, I mean, think about it. He's going to make those decisions and he's going to make those plays. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have that killer instinct and he doesn't have that killer effect that a quarterback needs to have. Bro, you got Mac Hollins, which recently looks like golly, what's the number one receiver over there?
Devontae Adams.
He looks like Davante Adams. My man has the height, he has the hands. I mean, he's running routes amazingly. And then you got Davante Adams doing his thing. You got a great, decent running back. So what is the quarterback doing with all those weapons? And in my opinion, that's what I think is hurting the race is that quarterback. I don't know. Is Carr just a great backup quarterback at best, playing the starting quarterback position?
Well, I haven't
I don't know.
seen the games because it's not what I've been looking at. So I would have to go back. I got NFL Plus. I can go back and look at them. I don't know if Carr's the problem, man. I don't think he's the problem. He's won games, in the past, and now he's just here. So let's see. They're 0-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
0-3. They lost to the Chargers by 5 points. They lost to Arizona by 6 points, and they lost to Tennessee by 2 points. So it's been a touchdown. Let's say a touchdown wins the game, a one possession, one score game. Last year he was 10-7, 8 of 8 the year before that. So is it him? You know what I'm saying, or is it that the play calling is not what he needs it to be? He's at 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. No, 4. So damn near 1 for 1. I don't know. I think the Raiders are and if they don't turn it around right now, going 0-3 in this league with some of the teams the way it is hard. But like you said earlier, divisional matches matter most, right? The divisional round. So let's say right now, Miami beats the Patriots twice, and Buffalo beats the Patriots twice, and they both beat the Jets twice, but they split 1-1. Then it goes to your record, right? Who's going to win the division by record? Right now, the Raiders, man, in that division, because I think the Broncos will turn around. Broncos defense stepped up big this past weekend, stepped up huge. So I think they're starting to get together. Remember, a lot of these teams didn't play in the preseason. So the first 4 weeks of the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season is like their preseason to gel and mesh together. So, I think they'll be fine. I don't think the Raiders are going to do more than what they're doing right now. I just see, in my opinion, I think the Chiefs and Chargers will get it together. Broncos will probably end up third in that division. With that being said, we don't need to talk about that.
One thing I was looking at was because I wasn't gonna blame Carr because I was looking at the drop passes. Who's leading the most drop passes this year?
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, and in Las Vegas, they're man, wow, they're ranked 27 in drop passes. They only had two. The leading team with the most drop passes is the Jets, by the way. Yeah. They had 9 drop passes, which is insane. Followed by the Commanders, and then Vegas 27.
No, Bucks.
What was that?
The Bucks. Where they at?
The Bucks are.
I'll be in the top 10, top 5.
They're actually number 10.
Yep. See, so top 10. I knew it because of the way they was dropping passes anyways. I mean, so I'm glad that you did that because you're looking at the bigger picture. You're trying to find reasons if it was drop passes. Obviously, it's not the drop passes. I just think, man, some of these teams are not gelling like they thought it was. Veteran quarterbacks find ways to win. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Look at Brady. If they pull out that 2-point conversion, we don't know what would have happened in overtime, but the defense kept Rodgers to 14 points. So, and Rodgers found a way to get 14 points on the board. It is what it is. Quarterbacks, seasoned veteran quarterbacks find ways to put points up on the board, to adjust. Teams find ways to adjust. Some of these teams are not adjusting. All right, so going to the next thing, we have, you said top 5 NFLs according to Get Up ESPN. Number 1 was Dolphins, 2 Eagles, 3 Bills, 4 Ravens, and 5 Chiefs. How do you feel about? You agree with that or no?
Yes. I agree with that. Let me take that back. I don't agree with that. Same teams, same teams. I would just swap the Bills and the Ravens. I would have Dolphins 1. And matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say it, man. All right. I'm gonna leave it like that. 1 and 2. Maybe 1 and 2 should be swapped around because it's my team. But 1 and 2. But my main thing there is 3 and 4. I think the Bills need to be number 4, and the Ravens need to move up to number 3.
So I would move Eagles up to number 1, and I'm because they're the only NFC team there, the only one, and they're not the. And if you look at that top 5, 3 out of the 5 teams have losses. So you're telling me that there's no other NFC team that can be in the top 5. So I don't know how he's basing it, if it's off yardage or what, but I would move Eagles up to number 1 just because they're the only one from their conference, the entire conference. So 16 teams, and you're the only one on that list. That to me, that speaks volumes. And you got 3 out of the other 4. You got 2 from the same division, the East, and then you got 1 from the West and 1 from the South or the North. So I mean, yeah, I think that's good. I wouldn't change it. If she don't get back, we about to do these pick'ems. Do you think that? How do you feel about Cooper Rush playing? How he's been playing? You think there's a gap between Dak and Cooper Rush?
I think it's more of a whole team concept, a whole team W. I think they're trying a little bit harder because it's Cooper Rush, not taking no credibility from him, because I think he's coming in there doing what he's supposed to do. He come in there, he's been having good decision making, and then you got everybody else doing their part. You got CeeDee Lamb. Besides that huge drop that he had, he's doing his thing. Schultz doing his thing. Both running backs are doing their thing. And aside from that, I would still put Dak back there just because I think Dak is the more threat as a quarterback based on his legs and his arm.
I think I don't think there's a big there is a gap. Dak's been playing longer, so he has the numbers on his side. I think Cooper Rush is doing what a good backup quarterback is going to do: is come in there and play, manage the game. They're keeping the play simple for him to be successful. The defense is stepping up. I think they have the most sacks in the league right now. They're applying pressure. They're getting to the quarterback. They're helping the offense out by that. So I don't think there's a big gap. I think there is a gap, but only because of the experience that Dak Prescott has over Cooper Rush. So I think that's where it comes in. And that's where the gap comes in. Nikki, you came right on time because we about to do these pick'ems. So I got the notepad out. I'll write them down, then I'll take a picture and send it to you so you can put them in your notes and go from there. So what we're gonna do is
but hold on, can I read the thing? Because I want it written in the way.
How you want to read it?
No, I'll tell you the game and then y'all do the pick'em.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So hold on. Let me get it. My phone's about to die. Run your charger. What's wrong with my?
Nikki, we breaking up. You freezing up. We can't understand you.
All right, just go ahead.
All right, so with Thursday night, we have Dolphins at Bengals. June, who you got?
Golly. The Dolphins.
You got Dolphins, right?
Damn, that was quick.
And this, I'm stuck, man, because I want to go Dolphins because of the record, but they got the Bengals favored by 4 points.
No way. Do they?
Yeah, they do. The line is 4
Oh, wow.
Bengals. I'm gonna go Dolphins. That defense, that line. Nikki, who you got? Bengals or Dolphins?
Uh, truck. Sorry.
Mhm.
I have to go to Dolphins. I want to go to Bengals so bad, but right now they just not gelling the way I need them to.
Yeah, I told you the same thing. They actually have the the Bengals favored by 4 points. So we'll see.
Oh, because they're playing at Cincinnati.
Yeah. Patriots at Packers. I'm going Packers. June, who you got?
Oh, okay. No. All right. Sorry. Let me do it now. Not so you did Dolphins. Next game is Vikings at Saints. Sorry.
Vikings at Saints.
Yep. Write it down now. I'm gonna tell the game. Vikings. They're playing at the Saints. June.
Vikings.
I already put Vikings down. Who you got, Nikki?
Yeah, the Vikings.
Okay.
All right. Next game. Seahawks at Lions. June.
See, Lions. Jesus. Oh my God. I want to say Gino.
I wrote Lions too.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Lions.
All right.
All right. Jets at Steelers. Jets at Steelers.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
Steelers. Yep, me too.
Hmm. They're both 1-2. All right, I'm going to Steelers.
Okay.
All right, Bears at Giants. Bears at Giants. They're both 2-1.
I'm going Bears.
Bears at Giants.
I'm going Giants. Bears should never won that game last week.
All right.
Did you hear me? I'm going Giants.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
All right, next game. Titans at Colts. That's a divisional game. Titans at Colts.
I'm going Colts at home.
Me too.
Nick?
I'm gonna go to Titans.
They got the Colts favored by 3.5 points. That's the line.
Okay. All right, next game. Chargers at Texans. Chargers at Texans.
I put Chargers for me.
Chargers.
Yeah, it's Chargers.
I think Keenan Allen comes back too.
Both are not playing.
Yeah, he's an IR. But I think they can manage against the Texans.
Yep. Okay. Bears at Falcons. Bears at Falcons.
No, Bears are at Giants.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Yeah, Browns at Falcons.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Browns. I'm sorry. Browns at Falcons. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I'm sorry. Browns at Falcons.
Hey, gosh. This is tough. I'm not going to lie.
That's a 50-50 game. You can get.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. Myles Garrett, I don't know if he's going to play.
I'm going Atlanta.
You going
You
Atlanta?
just convinced me in there. And Clowning's out.
I'm going to go Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Browns. going by. All right, next game. I don't know. Commanders at Cowboys. Commanders at Cowboys.
Cowboys for me.
Who them boys?
The Commanders are gonna win this one.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Jags at Eagles. Jags at Eagles. You just got to say your pick, Frank, because you should already know what I'm going to say. You know what June going to say.
I'm going Eagles.
Huh? Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Bills at Ravens. Bills at Ravens. Oh, my heart is about to be torn.
I'm going Bills.
Ravens.
Oh, I'm so torn because I never go against Lamar, but I think the Bills are going to win. I'm going Bills.
Okay.
No Lamar.
I
No
know.
Lamar.
I'm
I don't want to
so
hear it.
torn.
No.
I'm so
Mo.
torn. I'm torn, but I have to go Bills. All right, next game. Cardinals at Panthers. Cardinals at Panthers.
That's another 50-50 game.
It sure is.
Man.
Because they got Carolina picked by 1.5 points. I'm going Cardinals. That's too close.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Broncos at Raiders. Broncos at Raiders.
I think Raiders get their first win.
Yeah, they're gonna have to because Broncos. I don't know what's going on.
Well, if that Broncos defense shows up like they did last time, that could be a problem. But I think it's Raiders. I think Raiders get their first win at home. They're favored 2.5 points. The over/under is 45.5. So I think the offense continues to struggle on the Broncos side, giving the Raiders opportunities to get on the field and do something. I think they'll be fine.
Yep. I got the Raiders.
You got Raiders?
Yeah.
All right.
Nick, who you got?
Next game. All right, I said the Raiders.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay.
I said Broncos ain't. All right, next game. Pat at Packers. Patriots at Packers.
Packers.
I'm going Packers.
From Packers. Packer Lackers. Old boys out.
You know, if Mac Jones was playing, I probably would have picked. If he was healthy, I probably would have went Patriots.
You didn't pick your team one time this year, so don't even.
Listen, because I ain't stupid. I'm pretty smart.
Right.
Oh,
All right. Sunday night football is Chiefs at Buccaneers. Chiefs at Buccaneers.
Ooh.
Yeah, this
And
one is awesome.
Mike Evans comes back though.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
going with the
for
Bucs.
one day.
I'm going with the Bucs in this one.
It's a hard one.
I'm going Bucks defense, and I think the defense can fluster the Chiefs.
It's a hard one because I think the Bucs offense, I don't know.
Well, the offense, if they get Mike Evans back, then they got a weapon. And they can run the ball. The defense is what I'm leaning on mostly with the Bucks. Chiefs, they can't spread the field like they used to. Yeah.
Shoot. All right, I'm gonna go. Oof. Man, this is a hard one.
They got the Chiefs.
Who did the Chiefs? I want to go Chiefs. Who did they lose against last week?
The Colts. They got the Chiefs favored by 1 point. But remember, we don't know where they're gonna play at. They might not play in Tampa. They might have to play in Minneapolis and Minnesota. So,
yes, they might play with Vikings. The Vikings. I'm gonna go to Chiefs.
Okay.
And then Monday night game. Rams against 40.
You said the what?
Rams at 49ers.
Rams against the 49ers.
You going Rams, June?
Oh, golly, bro. I'm going Niners, bro. I don't believe in them damn sorry ass Rams.
Who you got, Nikki?
I'm leaning towards the Niners. But, yeah, I'm going to go 49ers.
All right. So she got 49ers. I'll send this out. Those are the picks. We'll see how we do. So let's wrap it up. Nikki, closing remarks?
Did you hear me say Niners?
Yeah, I got you. 49ers. I'm the only one.
Okay. I'm sorry, because my thingy. Anyway, America, I'm sorry. I was in and out. I was in a doctor's appointment. My phone was about to die. I lost service. Oh, Lord. But you know what? It's always a pleasure getting on here, decompressing about football, and Duvaaallll, baby.
Go ahead, June.
Oh my God. Oh God, let me stand up for this, baby.
Oh, see, this
I can't stand.
Hey, if you guys can see that, I'm doing a flying eagle with my hands right now. But that eagle it's trying to cut, man, Nick. Matter of fact, Nikki's in the bottom. I'm trying to hit her with the wing. But
You ain't gonna hit me.
hey, I wish you the best. I wish you the best of luck, Nikki. I wish that you guys come close and don't lose by lot. So let's go. Fly Eagles fly, baby. On the way.
Listen, another week down. Another week down. On to week 4. A lot of stuff moving and shaking. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, share, like, leave comments, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.